Hi there, this is Darlene. This is just to go over the settings for the Pasture Challenge EA and talk to you about them and what they mean. So let's go right into our EA. I do apologize, first of all, that I'm doing this on an iPad, so if I appear a bit klutzy, that's why. Okay, so let's look at these first four, starting with this false here. Okay, grid manual order, only? No, false. We want to be able to do both. Open new orders, true. Yeah, we want to do that. Enable grid, yeah, true. Close all orders now, no, false. Okay, and so these are the defaults that come with it. So just leave them alone. They make sense, and they need to be that way. So just leave them alone. Of course, your magic numbers, you want to have two very distinct magic numbers that are different than mine or anybody else's. And that is to make your account different, basically, unique. Your enable engine A, you want it set to true because those are your buys. And then your engine B is in charge of your sells. So you need them both set to true because you want to do buys and sells. Unless, of course, you have reason to think that, say the market's going up and you think it's going to go way up for some reason. You think it's going to go way, way up. Then you only want it to be doing buys. And in that case, you would set this to false. And that way it will not take any sells. Okay, it'll just be buying, 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 and buying. Because normally when it's going up, it would be putting sells in. But sometimes, especially in New York, and especially on wicked news days, it can be very volatile, as in it'll keep going up, 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 up. And if you're leaving the EA to do its thing, it'll be putting sells in every time you go up until at some point it's gone past your drawdown, and then it'll all get closed down. So that's the time when you might want to only do buys or only do sells. However, there's also a better way to do it. Oh, so for your sells. Oh, sorry, I meant to put that on true. There we go. Again, if it was going down, then you may only want to do sells, and then you would put this one on. You'd do your engine A buy, put that as false. However, there's an easier way of doing it. Out here on the common tab, we have long and short positions. Long means buy, short means sell. That's simple as that. So, pardon. If you wanted it to only do buys, then you can set it to do only longs, and it's just that easy. And I find it much easier to change it out here than inside the EA. So that will be doing only buys. Or we can have it on only short, and that will only be doing sells. So, but you've got to be really sure of yourself when you're playing with these. You've got to be really sure it's going in one direction, because if you're wrong, well, you're going to get caught out. So normally 95% or so of the time, it's going to be on long and short. Going through the rest of your inputs now. Okay, we're done those. Okay, first of all, our lot mode. This is fixed lot. We always use fixed lot, and I've never seen any other EA do something different. I'm sure there is, but I've never seen it, because your choices here under lot mode are fixed lot or percentage lot. We always use fixed lot. So your fixed lot here then, I have it set at 0.03. However, this is a $100,000 account. That's very conservative. I should probably have that up to like about 0.05 or so. Now, if you were doing a $10,000 account, that's when you might want to have it down as low as like 0.01. If you're doing a $25,000 account, maybe 0.02 or 0.03. And that's where your $100,000 lot should be higher than that. Percent lot. That number can be absolutely anything, because we aren't using percent lot. Remember when I showed you here under fixed lot? You could either do fixed lot or percent lot. No, we're only using fixed lot, so we're only concerned about this number, which is your starting lot, and forget about the percentage lot. Doesn't matter anything. Your stop loss in pips here is 100, and that it will put your stop loss 10 pips away from where you are at. And if you want the same distance, the same 10 pips in take profit, you have to add that extra 0 for some reason. Do not ask me why. I don't know. But if you have it set this way, then it's going to go 10 pips in either direction, either take profit or in stop loss. Okay? Type grid lot. We're using Martingale. However, we don't have to. If we tap on this here, tap, come on, okay. We can see it's got fixed start, some start lot, Martingale lot, and step lot. Do not use the top first two. Axel says the bottom two are the money makers, and I believe him. So you'll see what happens here with Martingale lot is it goes up much faster than step lot. So what it's showing here is that, say, if our starting lot up here was 0.01, then it would go 0.01, double it, 0.02, double it, 0.04, double it, 0.08. It doesn't go exactly like that, but, well, it could if you set it to. But it goes up far faster than fixed lot here, or step lot rather, step lot. Step lot, as you can see, it just doesn't go up as fast. So Martingale is far more aggressive than step lot. I like Martingale. Oops, I set it on step lot. So get Martingale. There we go. Back to business as usual. Now, your step size and pips, everybody's going to be questioning me on this. 30? Are you nuts? That's way too low. All right. What that 30 is for is, you know how when you're a couple hours into the Asian market and it's barely moving up or down at all, that's when I put it down to 30. And that way it'll start to catch those little twitches and I might make some money out of it. Because if it's not putting in any orders because your step size and pips is too large, well, that's not doing any good either. So weirdly enough, though, over on my E8 account, for this 30, I would have to put 50, and then it would work out about the same. Weird. So if it's not super consolidated like that, where it's barely twitching up and down and it's doing normal ranging, kind of like, hold on. Now, let's see if I can do this. Sometimes things don't want to pull the way that I want them to. Okay, there we go. See over on the left here where it was ranging much, much more? That's when I would have it on 50 for sure. You know, I would not leave it on 30 for that. However, coming back over here, you can see here that it's consolidating a lot. Like it's hardly twitching up and down anymore at all now. So that's why I want the 30 on there. As I say, that's for super consolidation. And if it's doing just kind of normal stuff like it was on the left-hand side, then yeah, put that up to 50. And this is for Asia, okay? Asia. It can also suit for London as long as there's no red flags on London, okay? Your grid increment factor. The grid, because it is a martingale, and it says, notice it says if martingale. So this is to be used only with martingale. So if the grid type is martingale lot, the new trades will be multiplied by this number. So say I had this put to 2. Well, then it's going to do exactly what it shows here in martingale lot because it's going to double it each time. So if, say, my starting lot here was 0.01, then it would do the double thing because you got it here as a grid increment factor of 2. I've never seen anybody put it that high, though, ever. So what I should have it on for, actually for Asia, I should set that not at the 1.157 that I had it, but a bit higher because I do want that number to increase a fair bit. 3, 5, 7. Okay, so that would be good for your Asia and probably going into your London session. However, if I was going to do New York, I may want to reduce the starting lot. I definitely would increase the step size in pips to at least 100, possibly 200, depending on the day. Add this, we'd go back down to 1.157 because you don't want your lot sizes going up super, super fast. Now, so because we're using martingale lot, oops, why do you do that? Okay. Sometimes I want to toss this iPad right out the window. Okay, so see where it says number 4 here? 4? That is step lot, if step lot. So if you've got this here set to step lot, then you would ignore the martingale grid increment factor and you would use your step lot. And what that means that if that grid is step lot, if we'd set it to step lot, then new trades will be entered after this set pip amount. So as I don't know very much about step lots, that's something you would have to fool around with a bit. Now, your maximum lot, because I've got a $100,000 account, a maximum lot of 2 is not bad. If you're higher than that, I've seen people like on a $200,000 account go 4. So this seems about right. And so what it's going to do is it's going to take your starting lot, 0.3, and it's going to, as it keeps increasing it, it will not go over 2, the way I've got it set here. You could put it at a greater or lower amount, depending on you, but 2 is about right for me. I don't want it going too high, because if it does, and then the market goes the wrong way, I could be in very deep doo-doo. So I'll just leave that at 2. Enable grid dual size false, and hedge after, the one before it, after level change lot A to B, necessary. Leave those 2 numbers alone. The 2 and the false are necessary for this to work right, and we are never supposed to poke at them. So leave it alone. Hedge after level, I have never used, but that's because I'm strictly a gold person. Apparently there is use for it in Forex or currency fairs, but I haven't got a clue. So, if you do, if you are high into the currency pairs, maybe you will know what to do with it. But frankly, if you're doing gold, we're already hedging it, because when the market's going up, and you would think it should be putting in buys, but it's not. It's putting in sell. So that when it comes back down, it's putting in buys and it's cashing in on those sells. So that is how it's already hedging itself. So we don't need to do anything further. Now, this is open one order by candle. I have it as false. We're on a 1 minute time frame here, and we don't want a new order put in for every 1 minute candle. That would be nuts. If we wanted to set that to true though, and then we would set the time frame for opening one candle. Right now it's set to current, and as my current is 1 minute, that's what it would be. However, you could change it to, I want to put in a new trade every 30 minutes if you wanted to. I have no idea why someone would want to do that, but there you go. The way it does it itself, by just handling the ups and downs, if it gets so many pips away, then it puts in a buy or a sell. That makes me just happy just fine, and that's all I need to do. Moving average and high-low, don't change these. If you're really experienced, you can change these. But if you're at my experience or lower, or even little bit higher, don't touch them. Like hardly any times do these ever get touched, and I've never even seen anybody talking about doing so. So let's go down here to trailing stop. Trailing stop. Trailing stop, and by pressing 2, it enables your trailing stop. Now, when it comes as default, these 200 numbers are often put at 20. But for for a 1 to 100 leveraged account, such as FTMO or MFF, you definitely want it 200. I left them once at 20 and 20, and a trade would barely open, and it would be closing it down, or it would be going into drawdown and closing it down like within. It's like not even $1 worth. So you definitely want that extra zero out there. And in fact, even on my EA account, I have the extra zero. Some people are starting to play around with these, and I think it's a great idea. I am just not experienced enough to play around with these, so I leave it as per the defaults and put them on true. Now, your use break even, I've also got to true. Your break even is the amount of pips in profit, or the first number, the 100, and this is it comes as a default of 150. I'm just trying some different settings here. So say that's at 150. That's the amount of pips in profit needed to move stop loss to break even. And then the 25, which actually comes as a default of 30, the amount of pips from the entry to move stop loss. Okay, so this is for your profit figures, not for when you're going into drawdown. So if you say, I want my break-even start to be at 100 so that each order, once it hits 100, it'll hit break-even, and it'll no longer be a pending order. It'll go through then. And although, yeah, we'd love to see higher than that, 150, 200. But the thing is, it's better to capture a little or some than try to capture it all and end up going into drawdown. Okay? So these, as I said, for this CA, by default is set to 150 and 30, or you'll see it at 15 and 3. I tried it that way once, and yeah, as soon as it made 50 cents, it was like, boop, gone. I would take the profit and run. So you definitely want these to be, set to 150 and 30 at least, or you can try this. This is from a different EA I used to use. Your maximum spread in pips, you don't need to change that ever. I mean, if we look at the chart right here that I'm on, it's going from, it's not even down to 1821 anymore. It was earlier, but let's say 1821.45 at the bottom to 1825.45 at the top. That's only 4 pips. So do we need a full 2400? No. Not if that's only, the maximum that I've seen it go to is just over 2,000, and it's not going to be showing, it doesn't go 0 to 2,400 ever for gold. Currency pairs are different, and Bitcoin is much, much higher, many more pips. It requires many more pips. But even for Bitcoin or any other cyber currency, it won't go over 24. So this is like the max spread in pips that any chart will ever have, so that we don't ever have to change that. Now your daily limits and targets. Basically, your max trades here. I've never heard of anybody using this. Excuse me, I just want to get out of this for a second. And sorry, I've got a chart running in the background here, and that was bothering me. So I will continue now. Sorry for the interruption. Got to look after your own chart, though. Okay, moving average, high, low, trailing stop, break even. Yeah, max. Okay, daily limits and targets. I have heard of people using FTMO that will get notices from them saying, you've got too many trades open. Huh? I have no idea what they're running in the way of settings to get that, because I have never gotten that before in my life. But should you want to limit the maximum number of trades you've got open, you can. And that way, you don't have a gazillion trades open that could be going the wrong way and putting you deeper and deeper into drawdown, but you would have a limited number. And whatever limited number FTMO wants, if that's who's giving you guff or whatever. Your, let me just see here. Yeah, okay. That's it. Yeah, and so your maximum lots, I've never really. Oh, that's maximum trades, maximum lots. I've never used that, so I don't know. Price ranger, I'm not going to go through right now. I will in my very next video, which will be like in the next hour or so. So here's your equity guardian. This is very important. Very, very important. This is going to save your butt when things go pear-shaped. So what do you want to have happen when the equity guardian activates? You want it to do what to all of your trades? Do you want to close the chart? Do you want to just turn off auto trade? Or do you want to close the entire MetaTrader? Me, I find that this is good. Turn off auto trade just so long as, go down here just past your date time filters, close all trades when EA turns off. True. Have that as true. And then you can have, come on, go, 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 go. Okay, then you can have this is true. And then as soon as, it triggers your equity guardian, it'll turn off all auto trades and it will close all of your trades. So you'll be sitting there happy. And the green auto trading button above this little screen here, that'll go to red and it won't be auto trading anymore. Now, if you put close chart to true, it will do exactly that. It'll close the entire chart. So this entire chart won't be here at all anymore. Yes, that'll most definitely stop all of your trades, but so will just turn off auto trade. Whereas if it closes the chart, then you've got to add the chart back in, put it to 1 minute, set it all up the way you like it. And as you can see, I've got various moving average lines. I've got volume bars down at the bottom. I've got this chart set up just the way I want it. So I don't want to lose this chart. Okay, so, you could, but then you have to reset up the whole chart and start from there. Same thing if you use close MetaTrader. It'll close out this entire MetaTrader. And then you've got to set it up from scratch completely to, setting up your MetaTrader and then all that kind of stuff. So that's why I leave the closed MetaTrader and closed chart to false, and I just turn off auto trade because it's much easier and it has the same effect. Okay. Floating drawdowns. These are different than your actual drawdown. Notice I've got a max drawdown per day. For a $100,000 account, I can have up to 5,000, but I would never put it that high. Actually, 4,000 is a bit high, and I'm going to just put this down to 3,000, I think. You want to give it, this is my max daily drawdown, don't forget, okay? I kind of skipped a bit, but I'm going to go back. So if you were to say, oh, okay, well, my max daily drawdown is actually $5,000 on a $100,000 account. So we'll just put $5,000 there. Wrong. Because it'll try to hit that number, but it's not going to be perfect. It could be 4,999 and it could be 5,001 or 5,020. Well, I tell you, if it hits 5,001, then you've just blown your account. Because it doesn't say, oh, it's only $1, it's okay. No, it doesn't do that. You go anything, you go 5,001 penny over, you've just killed it, So you want your maximum drawdown per day big enough so that it gives it elbow rooms to take those outlying trades. They're like maybe too high or maybe too low, so they can get as many as you want, but you don't want it up to your max of 5,000. I also think of it as, what if I have 2 or 3 bad days in a row? Well, with 3,000, if I have 2 bad days in a row, that'll put me to a weekly of 6,000, and that's still giving me some wiggle room between the 10,000 maximum. So that's a pretty good one. If I were to put up to 4,000, I might be able to get more equity in, but I also might get more drawdown. If it goes to max drawdown, there's 4,000. Get 2 days of that, that's 8,000, and that only leaves me with 2,000 left for the week. So, I think 3,000 is probably about good. So let's go back up here to floating drawdown. We can either do it in money or in percent. Somehow it just makes more sense to be in money, but it's up to you. So max floating drawdown in money. This is for your outstanding trades, the ones that haven't gone through yet. How much do you want to rack up in those outstanding trades? Well, for me, I don't want to rack up any more than 1,000 there. I mean, if the outstanding trades went too high, then you could end up in a massive drawdown. Or if you had that set to 0, you could get into a massive drawdown and just completely blow your account. So it's very good to put a floating drawdown there. And as I said, you could put it in money like I have there, or you could put it in percent. And frankly, on a $100,000 account, $1,000, that's 1%. So I could just stick the number 1 in there in the percentage. Do either or, money or percentage. I have no idea what minimum equity here or here is all about and why it's there in 2 places. So I've always just left it as 0. So there's my maximum drawdown per day. I did mention that. Now, maximum floating profit in money. This is just like floating drawdown, only it's floating profit. What if in all of your outstanding trades that haven't gone through yet, it hits for me, $800? Not a bad catch. Then it'll take all of those and it'll shut down all of your trades. It'll take that $800 and you'll have it, and then it'll shut down all your trades. Basically, the idea here is it's better to get some than none. And you can also do this as a percentage. So for me, it would be 0.8%, or I've got it set to $800. So I would rather, the maximum amount that we're trying for here is $1,000. Oopsie. Oh, don't go so far. So, okay. So my equity money here, my daily target is 1,000. Why is it 1,000? Because that is 1% of my account. So on 100,000, it's 1,000. If you got a $25,000 account, it'd be $250. 1% should always be your daily target. Now, if you left that to 0, it would just keep going and going and going and trying to make more and more money. On the surface, that sounds good, but it's not. Trying to get over 1% or just leaving it to 0 is called greed. This is part of trading psychology, okay? The idea for any of these is to get out, make your money, or get in, make your money, and then get out as fast as you can. So once you've got your 1%, you want to get the heck out of there. Even if there's, the entire New York session left to go and you're planning on trading it. Don't. Take your 1,000 and run. And that's what it's going to do. So once it hits your daily target of 1,000, it's going to shut everything down so that you keep that $1,000. Similar to if your floating profit, I've never seen floating profit go that high, frankly. If your floating profit of your, the buys and stuff, such that your trades that aren't closed yet, then if they go up to 800, it'll shut everything down as well. Again, I'd rather have $800 than have it suddenly disappear because of a huge drawdown. So that's just something to be aware of, and it's part of your trading psychology. Now we get to the date time filter date time. There we go. Use time filter. I have it to false because I do it manually. Most people, however, would like to get some sleep in the night. So you would set it to true and you would start setting your hours. Now, it's got all 7 days of the week here. However, Sunday and Saturday, you would never set it. Like if you leave it blank, it won't trade, okay? Because Sunday and Saturday, what's open? Gold isn't. Currency pairs aren't. The markets are down. The only things that are open on the weekends is crypto. So, and you don't want to put hours there to just, let's go do Bitcoin for between this hour and that hour. No, you would never do that because you need to make sure your crypto is in really well consolidated in consolidation, and then you need to keep your eyes on the chart constantly so that as soon as it breaks out of consolidation, you can just shut it down immediately. You've got to really have eyes on the chart to be able to do that. So you can't ever set your timings ahead of that. Now, they also tell us not to trade on Fridays But for me, I've just found that that means Fridays on New York. But I mean, if you want to play it safe, just don't trade on Fridays. It's fine. Now, so what about the other days? Yes, we can put our trading hours in here. Okay. So say I was going to put my trading hours in for, I'm just going to put fake numbers here because really what we want is the broker's time. Now, I'm just going to get out of this for a sec. Okay. What is our broker's time? See this little blue info box at the top left-hand side of your screen here? Info. I'm just going to hit it. There. So right now, it is what time here? It is 11:48 here. What time is it there? It's 5:48 in the morning. And it's 11:48 evening, my time, sorry. So it's 6 hours ahead of me is the time of the broker. That's important to know for when you're putting in the times in the time filter. Sorry, just a sec here. Great. Also, it tells you some pretty interesting things. You can scan down it. Remember I said I had 30 pips for when it's in super consolidation in Asia. Great. Take profit in pips, 1,000 pips. That's really only 10, actually. Your lot mode, which is always the same. My exponent factor, which I showed you, 1.357. And the max spread of 2,400 pips. Great. Now, it shows my starting equity, and I know it shows on a $100,000 account, it shows $66,000. Well, that's because on FTMO, they allow you on the demo to just completely mutilate the account, which I have done. I've done so many tests on this and not really cared if I won or lost because I was trying different strategies, so that's why it's so far down in equity. Normally, you would never see that unless it was on a live trading account, and that's your own money. So there you go. Orders open and profit loss doesn't really matter all that much. That you get shown to you if you go to your client area in the like in FTMO or wherever. Max profits though is good. 3.83. That's my maximum profits. Great. My maximum drawdown is 5.34. Okay. Actual profits being minus whatever. That totally makes sense. And then my time filter is set to false. Now, what I would do is when you're done trading for the day, night, whatever, when you've come to the end of your trading period, check out this max drawdown figure and then see how close it goes to whatever you've got put down as in max drawdown. Because you might be surprised how close it gets to your max drawdown one night and not the other night, to see what is happening and to give you more of an idea of what your drawdowns should be. Because this will show the max that it ever hit that night. Okay? So then just click your blue info button again and off she goes. And I'll get back into the trade, into my EA. Okay. So we were down here. Oh, I want to mention something that I forgot here. I'm sorry. Stop loss and pips. Okay, if you've ever watched, the stop loss on this EA works probably about 50% of the time. That is it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So if you're dealing with a firm like Funded Trading Plus, you need a stop loss that's going to be reliable. So notice what I've done. I have a second screen here, okay? So down here, we've got my main screen with the EA on it, with our EA on it. And then my secondary screen over here, it's set up the same as the first one in that it's a 1 minute chart. And I don't need to set up all of my moving averages and stuff like that on here. It really doesn't matter as long as it's the same chart as the other chart. This can be used both for gold, currency pairs, anything. So if you look at this is what's called a stop loss EA. Just have a look in it, and that's all it does, is your stop loss. So you put this value here to be the same as the stop loss that you would like it to be, and have it set in your main EA chart. Okay, and then you just go okay, and then it will absolutely give you the 100 stop loss, which is 10 pips. So if you are really relying on your stop loss, you need to get that stop loss EA. You get it from me. You can just DM me, follow up with me, and I'll make sure you get it. It's just a free little EA, so it's no biggie. So now going back down here to filter date and time. Say I was going to put in Monday's hours. Now, okay, so I want it to start at the beginning of Asia, whatever time that is on my on the broker time. I'm just going to be putting it to my times that it is, even though that would be horribly wrong. You would never do that. But anyways, just for numbers to show you. So say I wanted it to start at the beginning of Asia and run to, that's your dash to, say right before New York, but leave it a couple hours. That would be, say, 7 o'clock. Okay, great. So that's captured Asia and most of London. If, say, however, you wanted to also have it run later and you want to catch New York, you could put it in 09:30 to 17:30. And that will capture New York. So as you can see, you put your first set of times and then a space and then your second set of times. Make sure there's dashes between the times. So can anybody see what's wrong with this or why it wouldn't work? It's because you don't want New York settings, or you don't want Asia settings going into New York. Not one little bit. For New York settings, just going through my settings here. First of all, you may want your starting lot to be lower. I don't know if you want to use your, especially if I was using a rather large starting lot here, like a 0.05, I sure wouldn't want that going into Asia. So I would probably lower that some. Not much, but some. This, your step size and pip definitely way higher. If it's just in London time, I would definitely have the step size and pip set in at least 50. Going into New York, I would have it at either 100 or 200, depending on the volatility I noticed. Also, you don't want it to be multiplying as fast. So this you would only want at 1.157, so that it's going up very slowly and it's taking less orders because you've got this on 100 or 200. Okay? So that's the idea there. So if you go back down to the timings here, well, here's the problem, is that it's going to run the same settings throughout all of these times. That is not a good idea. You don't want that. So basically, what you do is you set up your times just for your first set, if you want to do two sets at all. So let's say this is my time for Asia. Okay. And then I would go to another tab. Okay, this is my stop loss tab, so I can't use this one. So I would open up a third tab, actually. And it would be, again, exactly the same as these two tabs. Minute 1, gold charts, blah, blah, blah. And then you'd put your EA onto it. And then, oops, I think I just took it off. Yeah, I did. Load. All right, I'm going to load my New York settings. Okay. Come on. There we go. Wasn't moving for me. Still isn't moving for me. Okay. So then, okay, here for Monday. I have already put in my Monday Asian hours on a different chart, right? And we're making believe this is another chart, either my second or third start chart, depending on if I have an EA going, an identical chart. So above, I've got all of my figures put in for my New York hours. And so then here, I would just set it to the New York hours only. So say that was, they run for me 30, so 0900 or 930 to 1730. that for me is New York. But I need to set it to the broker time, not my own time zones. I'm doing my own time zones because that's what I can keep in my head, but really you want your broker time zones. So then you would put all of your New York times here, and then avoid New York on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. As I said, can't do anything with them anyways. So this you would have running at the same time as your regular EA, but because the trading hours are different, they won't be running at the same time. Okay, so that is your better way of doing it, because then you can put in a whole different set of settings in there. So I've covered all that. Close all trades when EA turns off. Make sure that's true. And anything under visor 1, do not ever touch. This is what makes the EA work. We are not meant to know what it means. So just don't touch it. Like even experienced people, you don't touch it, because this is how the EA is made to work. So you just leave that alone. I think I've covered that all now. If I've missed anything, or if you have any questions or comments, also, if you've been trying things like trailing stop and break even that I really haven't been messing with much, let me know how that goes, okay? Either here on YouTube, or you can DM me. That's fine too. So, do please leave me, questions, comments, and also, hey, here's what else we can do. I'd love to hear from you. And if you could please subscribe and like this for my YouTube channel. Thank you very much, and you have a great day or night or whenever I'm catching you here. Bye-bye.